Lake in St. Louis. Bob Barsha and Wayne Grimditch with you. We are ready for some freestyle jumping. We've got a beautiful afternoon and a lot of beautiful people looking on here at Creve Coeur. The rules of freestyle jumping: your best 2 of 3 attempts. The boat speed varies with the degree of difficulty of the trick. Off a 5.5-foot ramp, you are scored according to distance, form, and the degree of difficulty of the individual trick. First up, the master of freestyle jumping, Dave Reinhardt, 26 years of age, from Delray Beach, Florida.
Dave is wrapped for a full twisting one-ski back Mobius, a full twisting back flip. And nicely executed. He dusts a little bit on the landing. That'll take away from his form, but he got a good lift. And decent speed, that'll give him good distance, but the form was a little bit off.
The ski comes completely out of the water on the landing, and you must ski away from the jump in order to be scored. So a score of 735 points for Dave Reinhardt. Next up, Hank Amos, just 20 years of age, from San Antonio, Texas.
Well, this is one of the young great talents on the tour. Hank's cutting to the ramp to do a one-ski back gainer. Wonderful, beautiful form.
Terrific landing, no splash at all. If this were a diving competition, this might be a perfect 10 for entry.
You know, ideally, the water skiers want to look like snow skiers in the air. Smooth, elegant, and then have a gymnastic-type landing.
That's one of the best landings we've seen all year. From just 20 years old, Hank Amos.
45 miles per hour on a 7-inch wide ski. Wonderful balance.
716 points for Hank Amos, and now we're ready for the first attempt from another of the young lions of the sport, 21-year-old Jeff Schmick.
This is the same maneuver Dave Reinhardt completed, the one-ski back Mobius. Well done. Better landing than Dave, but not quite as far on distance.
725 points on this jump for Jeff Schmick. He scored a big 828 on his second attempt. Now that puts our leader Dave Reinhardt into second position, and he will need a big effort right here in his third and final attempt.
And this is the one-ski front Mobius, a full twisting front flip. Very awkward looking by the nature of the trick, but he lands and he skis away. Terrific.
It may cost him some style points, but he scores big, over 1,000 points, 1,005.
Very awkward because he has to clear the rope with the ski. In order to do so, you have to kind of get all bent and twisted up.
Just hold on for dear life. Get the ski on the water first, and then get back up on it. Great recovery for Dave Reinhardt. He moves back into the lead. Now Hank Amos on his third and final attempt.
And he's in third position. He really needs this trick, and he sticks another landing. He must have been a gymnast in an earlier life.
2 terrific landings for Hank Amos. Now, he crashed on his second attempt. This gives him a total of 1,601 to take over second place.
Well, he really is on the mark today. Squarely over the ski, gets a beautiful extension right off the top, easily completes the rotation and the revolution. All at the same time, flips, twists, and sticks.
And kicks that ski around. Now that moves Jeff Schmick from first to third. Now he needs a great effort.
3 revolutions, the 1080. Can he get it? And he goes off axis, and he really takes a brutal hit.
A huge face plant for Jeff Schmick. He will score no points on that attempt, and he will finish third. But give him credit, he really pulled out the stops.
The difficult aspect of this trick is that right at the top you got to kick and spin like mad, and he got off a little bit and just spun himself right in. Taking a shot like that is like a shot from Lawrence Taylor.
Nice effort for Jeff Schmick. Now let's meet our winner.
Great job, Dave. You survived another round, and you also won.
Yeah, I felt really good out there in the competition. We got 2 young kids, Jeff Schmick and Hank Amos, that are really skiing good. And it's putting the pressure on me and Mike, the old folks here at the Freestyle.
Well, what were you thinking when you came into the one-ski front Mobius? Schmick was ahead at that point. How are you feeling?
Well, I knew I had to make it. I saw Mike go out there, and he fell in his jump, so I knew I was guaranteed third. But I was trying to rehearse what I did yesterday in practice, and I made both of them really nice.
So for the second straight event, Dave Reinhardt comes from behind to win. That's his 4th victory in 5 events this year. Not only that, but Dave picks up our Toyota Radical Maneuver of the Day for that high-scoring jump. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Now, before you can enjoy any day on the water, you have to get your boat in the water. Here, while we're on the subject of the potential for disaster on the water, let's Let's take a look at men's freestyle jumping. In an upset, our series leader, Dave Reinhardt, did not make the final. Best 2 of 3 jumps count. The boat speed varies according to the trick, and they are judged on form, distance, and degree of difficulty, and they can get very difficult. Here is Mike Tolzman, just 28 years of age, out of Miramar, Florida, his first attempt.
Mike will make a double cut towards the ramp. That's cutting across both wakes, kind of cracking the whip, building speed. That'll give him distance, one of the factors in scoring. At the top of the ramp, hips up, head back, 1 ski gainer, nicely done.
How these guys get back on their ski for the toe out, I will never know. Let's take another look.
Needless to say, traveling 50 miles an hour and balancing yourself on a ski that is only 7 inches wide is very difficult, but Mike seems to do it just very routinely.
Now, you may be wondering what we mean by 50 miles an hour. The boat may go 35, but crossing the wake builds up lots more speed. Our next skier up will be Rusty Stewart, who distinguished himself a year ago by crashing into a dock while watching the girls on shore as he finished his jump. That's my kind of skier.
1 ski back gainer for Rusty Stewart, same as Mike Tolzman, but Rusty doesn't quite get the lift off the end. He slips out. As he approaches the ramp, maybe leaning a little bit towards the boat. Ski flies away from us. Doesn't get the distance.
632 points for Rusty Stewart. Now we'll take a look at Jeff Schmick on his second jump. Schmick went down on his first attempt, scoring no points whatsoever. A 21-year-old out of Kissimmee, Florida, will have a lot of ground to make up. He has to stick this one.
Very similar to Rusty's trick. Doesn't quite get the full extension, but he gets a wonderful landing, and that always scores well in the judge's eyes.
Schmick specializes in his landings, all very clean with very little splash.
This is one of the real up-and-comers in the water skiing freestyling event. In San Diego, we almost saw Jeff complete a 1080. That's 3 full revolutions on 2 skis.
Now here is Mike Tolzman's second jump.
Wrapped for a 1 ski back Mobius, a full twisting back flip. Pulls it all together and stands up on the landing.
And a great score, 885 points. Mike Tolzman picks up his second victory of the season in freestyle jump. Good landing, spectacular maneuver in the air. Here's another look.
So often, Mike Tolzman has finished second to Dave Reinhardt in the freestyle competition. But through the years, Mike rarely falls on his 1 ski stuff. And once again today, he was brilliant.
Well, speaking of falling, just in case you think these guys all hit their maneuvers every time, take a look at this. Great jump there by Hank Amos, but he failed to score in any of his 3 passes in the finals. Mike Tolzman wins his second of the year over Jeff Schmick. Tony Neville warms up on the dock as we get ready for women's slalom coming up next. Now here is Bruce Neville of Australia, winner of 3 of the 5 events held thus far, and watch what happened to Bruce in final qualifying this morning.
Bruce found himself just a touch beyond the edge. This is what happens when you're 2 or 3 inches too far forward when you spring.
That, folks, is an arrival. Wayne talked with Bruce after the incident.
It's been a real rough weekend. Actually, it's been a rough week for me in practice. I haven't jumped all that well. And I had a nasty fall this morning. I was lucky to get out of it injury-free, but, you know, it does knock the old pride around a bit and the confidence. So, you know, I'm just going to try and get my head together and just try and put a nice couple of jumps out there.
Well, here is Bruce. There you see his 2 previous efforts. This is his 3rd and final attempt.
Well, he finds his position a little bit better at the base of the ramp, gets some kind of spring, but those really aren't Bruce-type numbers. A bad week of practice and a bad spill in an earlier round, and this is what happens.
No doubt still hurting from that brutal fall. His best effort, 186 feet. Bruce is not a happy guy. We'll be back. Miles an hour of boat speed, and the skiers are judged on form, distance achieved, and degree of difficulty. Now here comes Hank Amos on one ski with his first attempt.
This is the one ski back gainer and a solid, perfect landing. Just like we saw from him in St. Louis, he didn't have the same success in Lansing.
Hank Amos, one of the great young lions in the sport, just 20 years of age, from San Antonio, Texas. Good score on the first jump, 720 points. Here comes his second attempt, and it's a wrap.
A wrapped Mobius, a back full twisting somersault, and just sticks the landing. Another gymnastic landing from Hank Amos. Right over the ski, some of the best lift we've seen ever in the freestyling from the youngster Hank Amos, challenging the veterans of Tolsman and Reinhardt.
Tremendous impact on the knees and hips as you go up that jump on one ski, but Hank Amos just nailed it.
And this type of form in the air and landing gives him 8s and 9s from the judges.
In fact, that jump earned Hank Amos a total of 890 points for a total of 1,610 in the lead in the competition. Now here comes the master, Dave Reinhardt, for his second attempt.
And remember, he didn't qualify in Charlotte, so he's got a lot on his mind here. Two-ski front Mobius, two-ski front full twisting Mobius. Well done. Very high degree of difficulty trick.
And he picks up 855 points to bring his total to 1,605, 5 short of Amos.
And it was that same trick in Charlotte that he fell on. He was going on for a distance record that knocked him out of the first qualifying round.
My goodness. You must get up and ski away from your stunt. Now here is Mike Tolsman for his second jump.
And someone who is very comfortable on one ski. Head back and spins and flips and nails the landing.
And look at that score, 925 points. That gives Tolsman a total of 1,685 in the overall lead.
Tolsman silky smooth off the top on the one ski full twisting back Moby. Mike just has an uncanny knack for being squarely over his ski. Full extension, wonderful lift.
And with that jump, he takes the overall lead with a total of 1,685 points. Now Dave Reinhardt, as he has done so many times this season, is going to have to pull out a big jump.
And the jump is a front full twisting Mobius, and he lands it. That'll send him over 1,000 points on that one trick. Very strange, bizarre looking trick because you got to clear the rope. Somehow he manages to do it, bounces back on top of the ski, and makes it look kind of easy.
How he avoids getting himself all tangled up in his rope, I will never know.
I'm not sure Dave even knows, but Dave gets 1,110 points on that trick, which vaults him over 1,900 points.
In fact, his total, 1,965 points, within 5 of his one-event tour record of 1,970. Now the pressure is on Mike Tolsman to stick a big one.
2 fast revolutions on one ski, traveling 45 miles an hour. Can he do it? The 720 gets off, and he lands it. And that is a huge score for Tolsman.
882, but it's not going to be enough. 1,807 points will be Mike Tolsman's total. Dave Reinhardt has done it again.
Never missing a trick all afternoon. Mike Tolsman still comes up short.
And that is the first time in tour history that we've had 2 jumpers over 1,800 points in a single round of competition. Give a lot of credit to Mike Tolsman. He just keeps trying, and yet he always seems to find himself in Dave Reinhardt's shadow. There are the totals. Good effort for Hank Amos. Let's meet Dave Reinhardt on the dock.
We've had Tolsman, you had the 2 highest scores ever on the tour. You had 1,900. Tolsman had over 1,800. Your thoughts coming into the one ski front Moby today?
Well, I knew I wanted to secure my overall position, so I'd a lot rather get it over with at this tournament so I don't have to go into the finals worried about it.
Well, you got it all over with. Congratulations.
Well, it's quite a relief. Thank you.
And so with this 1,110-point jump, Dave Reinhardt clinches today's victory and the overall Freestyle Tour Championship. It is also our Toyota Radical Maneuver of the Day. Toyota, I love what you do for me. We'll be back with all the action of women's slalom when we return to Allison Point Park in Indianapolis. Stay with us.